What if you were told the only way to escape a dangerous situation was to be declared insane, but wanting to leave proved you were actually sane? That's the mind-bending paradox at the heart of Joseph Heller's satirical masterpiece, Catch-22. Published in 1961, this book throws you headfirst into the chaotic and often hilarious world of World War II bomber pilot John Yossarian and his squadron stationed on the fictional island of Pianosa. Why should you care about a book written decades ago about a war that seems lost to history? Because Catch-22 isn't just a war story. It's a timeless exploration of bureaucracy, absurdity, and the human struggle for survival and sanity. Think about it. Have you ever felt trapped by a rule that made no sense? That's Catch-22 in action. Heller's novel resonates with young readers today because it confronts issues that are as relevant now as they were then. So buckle up. We're about to dive into a world where sanity is subjective, bureaucracy reigns supreme, and the line between right and wrong gets blurrier by the minute. Imagine being stuck on a tiny island in the Mediterranean Sea, surrounded by men slowly losing their minds, with the constant threat of death raining down from the sky. Welcome to Pianosa, the setting of Catch-22. This isn't your typical war story with heroic battles and noble sacrifices. It's a darkly comedic exploration of the absurdity of war and the dehumanizing effects of bureaucracy. We meet Captain John Yossarian, a bombardier in the U.S. Army Air Forces, who, like many of his comrades, is just trying to survive the war. But there's a catch. Actually, there are many catches, but the most famous one gives the book its title. Catch-22 states that a pilot can only be grounded for insanity. But here's the twisted logic. Requesting to be grounded for insanity proves you're sane, because you understand the dangers of flying more missions. As Yossarian tries to navigate this bureaucratic nightmare, we're introduced to a colorful cast of characters: the opportunistic Milo Manderbinder, the bumbling Major, and the endlessly compassionate but tragically doomed chaplain. Each character embodies a different response to the absurdity of their situation, and amidst the chaos and despair, Heller injects moments of dark humor. At the heart of this chaotic world stands Yossarian, our unlikely hero. He's not your typical war hero driven by patriotism or glory. Yossarian's main motivation is simple survival. He sees the war and the military bureaucracy as threats to his existence, and he's determined to outwit them at every turn. But Yossarian isn't just selfish or cowardly. He's deeply affected by the death of his friends, especially the tragic loss of Snowden, a young gunner who dies a gruesome death. This experience fuels Yossarian's rebellion against the senselessness of war and those who perpetuate it. Yossarian's journey is a descent into the heart of absurdity. He encounters illogical rules, incompetent superiors, and a general disregard for human life. He learns that the enemy isn't just the opposing army, but also the very system he's fighting for, a system that seems designed to chew up and spit out its soldiers. What would you do if you were Yossarian? Would you blindly follow orders, or would you, like him, try to find a way out of the madness? Before we continue, if you're enjoying the content, hit like and subscribe for more insightful summaries. Catch-22 isn't just a war story, it's a commentary on the human condition itself. Heller uses the absurdity of war to expose the hypocrisy, greed, and self-preservation that often drive human behavior. The characters in Catch-22 are reflections of ourselves, caught in the web of our own making. Take Milo Manderbinder, for example. He starts with a simple goal to improve the mess hall food, but his ambition spirals out of control, leading him to create a vast black market syndicate that profits from both sides of the war. Milo's story highlights the dangers of unchecked ambition and the seductive nature of power. Then there's Major, a man thrust into a position of authority he never wanted and is entirely unqualified for. He becomes a symbol of the incompetence and absurdity of bureaucratic systems. Even Yossarian, our supposed hero, isn't without his flaws. He's self-preserving, often at the expense of others. But it's this very human flaw that makes him relatable. He's not a perfect hero, but a flawed individual trying to make sense of a senseless world. Catch-22 challenges us to confront the absurdity within ourselves and the systems we create. It asks us to question our own motives and to consider the consequences of our actions, both on ourselves and on others. You might be thinking, okay, but this is a book about World War II. What does it have to do with me today? The answer is, a lot more than you might think. Though set during a specific historical period, Catch-22 transcends its time and place because it speaks to universal human experiences. The catch isn't just a wartime phenomenon. We encounter Catch-22s in our daily lives, in our schools, workplaces, and even in our personal relationships. Think about a time when you were trapped by a rule that seemed designed to prevent you from getting what you wanted or needed. That's Catch-22 at work. Heller's novel continues to resonate today because it forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about ourselves and the world we live in. It highlights the dangers of blind obedience, the dehumanizing effects of bureaucracy, and the importance of individual resistance in the face of absurdity and injustice. Catch-22 is a call to action, urging us to recognize and challenge the Catch-22s in our own lives. What are the Catch-22s in your own life? How can you challenge them? So what can we do? How do we break free from the Catch-22s that bind us? Heller doesn't offer easy answers. He knew that the struggle against absurdity and injustice is a constant one. But Catch-22 isn't a story about defeat, it's a story about defiance. Yossarian's journey, however flawed, is a testament to the power of individual resistance. By refusing to play the game by the absurd rules set before him, he carves out a path, however precarious, toward freedom and self-determination. Catch-22 calls on each of us to be more aware of the absurdities that surround us, the injustices that often go unchallenged, and the systems that perpetuate these problems. By recognizing these Catch-22, we can begin to dismantle them. And if you haven't read Catch-22 yet, I highly recommend giving it a try. It might just change the way you see the world. We reached the end, but before you leave, join our community of passionate readers by simply subscribing to our channel, where your love for knowledge and great stories truly matters.